Magic is one of the highest performing characters at every rank in the game, being one of only 2 characters to have a win rate greater than 55% in Grandmaster and above lobbies. But if you look at tier lists of the game, you can see that almost no one has her ranked that highly. So what is causing this rift between player opinions and results? There are a few reasons why Magic is actually performing extremely well, so let's take a look at them. Magic's main strength can be summed up into 3 different categories: survivability, damage output, and versatility. Let's break down each of these categories, starting with survivability. Magic is one of the hardest characters in Marvel Rivals to pin down and kill. Her dash, on Bull Incursion, allows her to easily relocate to anywhere she wants to be, whether it be behind the enemy, directly into someone for a fight, or as an escape option. Her other movement ability, Stepping Discs, is really where she shines, however. This ability provides 2 charges of a short-range dash that has complete invulnerability to all sources of damage while she's moving. This can be used to close the gap, avoid any threatening ability, or set up for a large amount of burst damage. This is incredibly useful for Magic because of her passive, Limbo's Might, another boon to her survivability. Limbo's Might converts 30% of all damage dealt by Magic into overshields. This can give her up to 150 bonus health at any given point in time, which she can constantly regenerate during a fight. This is what allows Magic to be such a menace when she's aggressive. If you combine this with any sort of healing, taking her down requires an entire team's effort, or for her to do something dumb herself.
Just so easy to heal on that it's like I just want to get more.
She can often act as a sort of pseudo tank, being nearly unkillable on the front lines. If Magic had low damage output, this passive wouldn't be that big of a deal, but thankfully, Magic has relatively high damage output for her role. She isn't the highest damage dealing character in the game, but in the melee dive DPS role, she is by far the most consistent. Her sword being able to consistently cleave multiple enemies means she is really good at building damage against stacked targets, and is also good at building ult quickly during support ultimate trades. But where Magic really shines is her burst damage. Magic has several different burst combos to put massive hurt onto whoever she is attacking. This strength mostly comes from Magic's ability to use a game mechanic better than every other character in the game: animation cancels. Other characters in Marvel Rivals can animation cancel, but Magic makes them look like chumps in comparison. This is how Magic looks when she's attacking normally. And this is how Magic looks when she starts to add animation cancels. This allows Magic to cancel Eldritch Whirl and Magic Slash both into her dash, leading to multiple different ways to perform kill combos on squishy characters. These cancels also have the benefit of chaining into each other, which when you learn, allows you to start melting even tanks.
Stop it from being able to kill anyone. There's all the people who are low already.
More than almost any other character in the game, Magic has options whenever she wants to pick a fight, and this is what makes her so flexible. Almost every single ability in Magic's kit is multi-purpose. You can unload everything into someone to do a massive amount of burst damage. You can play conservatively with your discs in order to stall for a long period of time. You can use those same discs to drop demons all over the other team, or even more, to cover your own retreat in order to escape from a bad situation. More than anything else, she never runs out of things that she can do. Across the board, Magic has some of the lowest cooldowns in the entire game. No matter how she wants to take an engagement, she is pretty much guaranteed to still have options to be a factor. This flexibility on how she wants to take fights is insane, and it's one of the main contributing reasons to Magic being a strong character. But how does it compare to other characters that are also trying to play in the same role? Marvel Rivals has a lot of different melee dive DPS characters to choose from, with playstyles varying slightly between all of them. Characters like Spider-Man and Black Panther use their high mobility to avoid damage that they would otherwise be receiving in fights, while characters like Magic and Iron Fist both rely on their abilities to make themselves immune to damage that they would otherwise be taking. For now, let's draw some comparisons between Magic and the character that actually ends up playing the most similar to her, Iron Fist. Both Magic and Iron Fist are melee dive DPS characters who rely on their mobility options to approach their opponents. While Magic relies on her dash and her portal, Iron Fist relies on wall running and double jumping to close the gap most of the time. Once they get in on you, they both rely heavily on their damage mitigation tools in order to drastically increase their survivability. Iron Fist has a single-use block in order to protect himself from anything that he thinks may kill him, but Magic on the other hand has 2 invulnerable dashes that are both on a significantly shorter cooldown, and while they don't heal you themselves, Magic dealing damage already provides her with self-sustain. This is on top of her dealing significantly more damage than Iron Fist to begin with, and I think this starts to paint a picture of what makes Magic so good and why Iron Fist is seen as mediocre in comparison. These kinds of comparisons can be made between all of the characters in this role. Both Panther and Spider-Man have more mobility than Magic, with Panther being slightly harder to pin down and Spider-Man having slightly more consistent kill combos, but Magic outpaces these characters in basically every other field. She does more damage, she puts legitimately scary pressure onto tanks, is effectively invincible to any ability that she can react to, and it starts to show as players continue to get good with her. The argument could be made that Magic could be getting carried by her player base, and that a few character specialists are clearly bringing her win rate up. While that reasoning can be valid for characters with a low pick rate, it isn't particularly valid for Magic. Magic actually has a pretty comparable pick rate to Star-Lord, Punisher, Moon Knight, and Psylocke, meaning that she's not a particularly rare pick. Even pro teams notice this on occasion. Let's take a quick look at the finals of the North American Marvel Rivals Championship. While Magic isn't the most played character in the game, you can often see her pulled out by Amazing on certain maps. She can be incredibly irritating for the backline to deal with. Once Magic gets in on you, she's an absolute menace. She's incredibly good at taking space, is strong at forcing picks onto the enemy backline, and is just a very strong playmaker in general. The fact that she can work at the top levels of the game also proves that Magic has the ability to hang with some of the best. So what is leading people to sleeping on Magic? There are a couple of main reasons. The first of these is, well, she is a melee character. People usually assume that melee characters aren't good in shooters for a lot of reasons. Since they can't shoot you at range, they're very limited in what they can do until they get near you. They have a hard time meaningfully interacting with a lot of destructible objects, such as Namor's turrets or Penny's trap. Marvel Rivals in particular also has a lot of flying characters, and Magic can't meaningfully interact with them in a lot of situations. But despite all of this, Magic still finds a way to succeed. And the reason for this is because Magic almost always has an answer. If your opponent's backline is unreachable, why not just put crazy pressure onto their tanks? If your team's getting run over, why not play protection to help them with your incredibly strong area control? If your team is struggling to make space, why not just run forward and draw eyes on yourself for frankly way too long of a period of time? Oh my god, these guys are just not killing me, please kill me already. The point of this video is just to increase the community's opinion of a character that I think is incredibly slept on. I hope this video taught you something new, and if not, I hope you're more willing to think highly of Magic in the future. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video at all, you should drop a like and maybe subscribe. I'm going to be trying to put out more long-form style content as the game advances, including actual character guides, insights into the game, and more. Have a good one.